Z, any update on him for tonight?
Not yet. Still questionable.
And then two of the best teams in the NBA in scoring and points in the paint. What's the key to preventing their number from being high tonight?
Well, we got to hit first. It's got to be, you let them get downhill, it's going to be a problem. Physicality up front. You got to draw a line in the sand and chest up, man up, and guard. That's what it's going to take. So, but it's great for us. This is where we got to raise our level tonight. Bottom line, And I thought overall in the Houston game we saw some evidence of some physicality. That we brought some fight to that game. Same thing here tonight.
As far as your game plan to kind of piggyback on that, taking care of the basketball tonight has got to be a pretty high priority considering what they want to do defensively, Detroit.
Absolutely. I think they fuel their offense off their defense. That's what they are. To their credit, man, they do this off their defense. They're physical, they're aggressive, they turn you over, they don't give you anything easy. So we got to do this by sharing it, spacing the floor, doing it with great pace. We got to execute, got to be strong with the ball, but we got to value every possession. That's the thing we're hammering home right now. Every possession matters, offense and defense. No careless turnovers. We had 8 turnovers in transition against Houston. That wasn't their doing. We did that to ourselves. So we can't have careless turnovers like that tonight. It's going to be tough enough. So valuing every possession is going to be massive.
It's kind of the same thing, but they're at the top of the league. Like, can get loose balls. Like how important is just effort and just making sure that.
Well, we're 10th in 50-50 balls. I'll take that. I think we're 10th in 50-50 balls. We got to, we're going to have our hands full. There's going to be some loose balls out there, loose rebounds. You got to go figure out a way to get your hands on them and fight for them, scrap, And that's the beauty in playing teams like this. You're going to figure out where where you stand as a group in your pride, in your physicality, in your toughness, in your urgency. We're certainly moving in the right direction there. We're not where we need to be, but this is one of those games that's going to, show you where you actually stand. Houston, obviously, was another physical group, and same thing here tonight.
JB, do you see any parallels to the Pistons core with your core? And what I mean by that is a couple of years ago, they went through really 2 difficult seasons, right? They're young guys, Cade, Asar, Durant, a bunch of those guys. Do you see anything like that stands out to you that maybe you could say our team in a couple of years maybe could have a similar trajectory?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. Everybody forgets where they were 2 years ago. I think they had 14 wins, longest losing streak in the NBA history, and they fought through it. It made them tougher, it made them more resilient. They leaned into their identity as a city. Like that toughness, that physicality, they leaned into that. And I think that's the parallel I want for our group. We want to reflect what this city's about. That toughness, that resiliency. This city's been down before, and they fought their way back. This team is finding itself in a tough spot, but we're going to keep fighting and scrapping and clawing, and we're going to find ourselves in a better place down the line. But you got to go through this. And I think that's the parallel, is that we're going through these tough moments, but it's only making us tougher. And although we want more results, we're in every, 30 of our last, 15 of our last 30 games have come down to clutch games. We've been in, half of our games have been within 5 with 5 minutes to go. You got to go through those moments, with rookies. I think we're playing the most rookies in the NBA right now. These are the fires you got to go through. These are what build, the toughness, and, everybody wants to be the critic and throw out, talk about the result. The fire and the foundation's being built right now, just like it was for Detroit 2 years ago. And we could go down the line in the roster and the parallels and all of that. The bottom line is there was a fight, there was a belief about them, there was a resiliency, there was a toughness about them that was formed 2 years ago. Now they've added pieces to that to round it out. But my guess is if you talk to those kids over there, that was part of what made them who they are today, and they believe. So we're going through our fire right now. But nobody's hanging their head. We're going to fight and scrap every single night. And I keep saying it. They've been one of the modern teams that have leaned into the identity of the city. I want to be very similar to that with this group here, that we lean into who we are in this city, the toughness, the resiliency, the physicality, and the creativity too. The beauty and the creativity of the city, all that blended together to reflect who we are. And so I think they're a great mark for us to look at. Great, thank you.